Can you hear me? Okay, let's get the show started.
That was my favorite fucking music.
Why did I think you were making a balloon animal? Because
I spent $13 on a shield protector for that.
Well, now you have that for yourself.
because my brain was, well, like, they props are like balloons.
Thank you for better than a sound. That was interesting. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to Open Mic. This is the first time we're like doing this in a proper form. I guess it's been this kind of loose thing we've done over the summer. It's supposed to be this is like an open mic over Zoom for anyone who wants to do like stand up. Now we're opening up to like sketch and like improv. If you could figure out how to do improv on Zoom, I'd be very impressed. But
Still
so
trying to hack it.
yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I think we're gonna maybe get some of that in the next week. But so thank you all for coming. Basically, tonight it's a light show because not many people, as in no one signed up. But it's gonna be you're gonna hear some stand up from Alexei, some stand up from me, and then we're gonna close out with Arielle's weekend update. So thank you all for being here. So yeah, we're gonna get this started. Unmute your mic if you can, because the whole point of this is to hear a reaction to jokes and stuff. And yeah, just like you guys, there's so few of you, no heckling and anything. So yeah, all good to go. Yeah. So without further ado, I think we're gonna pass it off to our good friend Alexei.
Hi, everyone. As you have heard so greatly, my name is Alexei. I have grandma glasses on because they're my mother's. And you may know me from such internet accolades as I bullied Brooks Wheelan a couple days ago. And like it's not on an account I put my name to, but it's like in my conscience. So I get to claim it. And the way I talk about like bullying Brooks Wheelan is it doesn't make me sound like a nice person. I think that bullying is good when you are directing it at the right people. And like when it's like I feel like saying like you deserve to be bullied is like something that like the like girl in middle school who like bought a nicer lip gloss than you says. But I do. I think that like if Oreo made a like a tweet that was like super insensitive and all the comments were like you're an idiot, Stan Luna, and had like fan cams of beautiful girls dancing, I think that's the best kind of bullying on earth, and I think we should bully people more if that's what bullying is now. Like I don't care about blue check sensibility. I don't like Twitter thinks you're famous. Isn't that enough for you? And it's like I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a tougher person now because if you handed me like an ex-cast member who looked kind of like Onision in his icon like last year, I would probably be pretty nice about it. I moved at the end of last year, which is something I talk about a lot because it's a big deal. That's what you learn as an adult when you leave your house permanently. It's a big deal. But I moved to Arizona and I fall into a category that I like to call visibly trans. Unfortunately, with being visibly trans, I'm also non-binary and bisexual, which means I get called every slur in the book and I say none of them. Um, but when you're raised in Chicago, you're kind of taught not to care. Um, when people are mean to you in Chicago, it's probably because you like didn't give your seat up on the train for the elderly, which is like I also deserve to be bullied for that. That's fine. Um, like Chicago has a really big Pride community, and I went to Pride a couple years ago dressed in a way that would probably not be something that you would want to like go to like your grandmother's or like anywhere to, and the only person who was mad at me was Whole Foods. That was it. Whole Foods was really pissed off at me, and then I went into like CBD Kratom, and they were like, "Yeah, man, have some free medication. I don't care, whatever. You look great." I was like, "Thanks." There's no difference between these businesses at all. They both sell natural things. But in Arizona, it's a swing state, which means we voted blue like 400 years ago, and we're not letting go of it. And so people are very mean here. I was walking down the street the other day because I was going to what was I doing? I was going to Safeway because they have the best already warm pot pie on earth. And I was like walking down the street, and this dude calls out from his car, and he calls me the F slur, which I won't say because I love you all. And it's like I'm walking down the street, I'm minding my own business, and this dude who looks like one of the Da Vinci twins just decides that this poor child-looking man on the street deserves to be called this horrible word. And I'm so desensitized to this from living in a big city that I stood there wearing every piece of jewelry you see me wearing now, in a rainbow overshirt. Think like Niles from Palm Springs, but like gayer. I was wearing like flower print, like short shorts. I was wearing my like Antibodies Nicholas Braun tank top that I painted myself when I was bored. I stood there with my hands on my hips, like tapping my foot as he sped away. And I went, "Now what about me looks fruity enough that you get to say that?" The answer is everything, but I didn't think about that. I wouldn't trade it for the world, though. I love looking like this. I love being a trans person. I love being non-binary. I think it's one of the coolest things on earth. My girlfriend is non-binary as well, which is super cool. I think about this a lot because they're cool with both the term girlfriend and partner. And it made me realize that, you know, when John Mulaney is like, "Oh, can my like wife board with me?" And that's like a really big deal. Or like when like Tom Wamsgans is at the wedding, he's like, "Wife, wife, 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 wife." Like that, like, yeah, sure, if you're like an older cis white man. But when you're my age and when you're like gender non-conforming, it's the best entrance into cis normativity you can ever ask for. It's like a power move, because then you get to switch it up because you respect your partner. You get to say girlfriend and partner in the same sentence, and then you get to watch their heads explode. It's the best feeling on earth. And to conclude, because this is all sort of cycled together, and it's all come to me in this very moment that I wrote yesterday. Bullying is okay if you are cisgender and heterosexual. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Awesome. Alrighty. So, did I unspotlight you? I think I did. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Alrighty. So, that was great, Alexei. Good. Glad that you now have the girlfriend card. I long for that. But okay. So, I will go now, and then we'll do weekend update. All right. Okay. So hey everybody, I'm Avery. I used to say also known as Videtti, but now I'm also known as the person who gets suspended every 6 months. So that's fun. It's really funny. I went most of my Twitter career with like never getting suspended, and I was like, I don't know what these guys are complaining about. It's fine. And then in the span of like a few weeks, all comes crashing down. But for those of you who have been to open mic before, this is the first time you're seeing me in my dorm. I am no longer at home, although because although I'm trying to pursue comedy as a career, I have to do this thing called be a liberal arts student. So basically, I'm on a path to getting an apron and a notepad just shoved into my hand upon graduation. So I'm in my dorm now, but I actually just got back. I was at home for a week, visiting my mom, which is always a fun experience. Just now I ran into my roommates beforehand and they were like, "So how was home?" And I just went, "Yeah." So that's where my head's at right now. But I love seeing my mom. My mom is always interesting to see. So my mom's almost 70, and she had me when she was 49 and my brother when she was 54. And to that I have to say, I know. I'm thinking I'm going to spend the rest of my life ending that sentence with I know. One time when I was in high school, I told my biology teacher that, and she just like looks at me incredulously, like she can't believe it, and she just literally yells, "And you're both fine?" And I was like, "No, no, we're not. But it's ninth period, and I don't think we have time to unpack all of that. I don't think my therapist has time to talk about all of that." But yeah. So my mom is really fascinating. She's such a character. Like sometimes she'll just like say things. Like, I don't know. She'll just say things that are like bombshell, revelatory, incredible statements, usually about like her connections to people in the world. And like she'll just say them so casually though. She'll just drop them. And she's like, I think my favorites include one time I picked up a cookbook and she went, "I lost Bobby Flay's luggage once." And I was just like, okay. Or another time we were watching an old rerun of SNL and she's like, "Oh, Chevy Chase sued my ex-boyfriend because his dog knocked up his dog." And those are, these are the kind of things that you like want exposition with. But my mom doesn't believe in exposition. My mom just believes in like dropping a seed the size of a 100-year-old oak tree on the ground and just being like, "I'm gonna leave that there, walk off, just mind my business." And so I have to be the asshole who pauses the TV, turns around and goes, "I'm sorry, what?" But yeah, my mom's pretty weird. My mom's weird, but I feel like a lot of older retired women are weird in general. Like, they all just have like this all this time on their hands now, but they can't let go of saying that they're constantly busy and they have a million things to do. So they have to find hobbies and interests to fill the time. And like my mom, for example, like she likes bird watching a lot. I don't have a joke for that. That's just what she does. But she also has got into a new interest lately. And it's kind of sad, actually, because my mom kind of got involved in a scam, and it sucks. My mom's, she's involved in a multi-level marketing scheme called Kohl's. Does anyone's mom here like have a Kohl's card or like talk about Kohl's?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
My dad got a separate Kohl's card because he didn't want my mom to see him buy a birthday gift on her Kohl's card.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that. There's just like there's something about women over 50 with Kohl's that they can't get over. Like they go to a store and they are lied to about the price of a sweater in order to manipulate them to buy that sweater. And it's like, have you ever been to a Kohl's that wasn't having a sale? I don't think I have. It's crazy. Every time my mom goes to Kohl's, she'll come out and she'll like unfurl her receipt. Yes, unfurl like a medieval scroll. She's like, "Look, see, I saved $50," and she's right. Like, you look and it says your savings $50, and every time I just kind of nod and smile, and on the inside, just think, I don't know how to tell you, but that was never going to be $50 more. This is why I call Kohl's a scam, because they have this genius marketing strategy they'll like mark everything at like really like bougie rates, like, you know, like $200 for like, I don't know, one thread count toilet paper. I don't understand what they sell there. I've seen them sell anything from like chaps like sweaters and like, you know, cargo pants for women in the Hamptons to like as seen on TV microwave oven type things. I don't know why they're like this, but so they'll mark all their stuff like really high prices, and then they always they'll slash them. They'll always like, you know, be like, oh, this is on sale for this amount of money. And all of these like older women just, they see opportunity in the red mark and they can't get over it. Like my mom will buy a pair of shoes she would have never bought, even if it had been at the original low price, even if it had just said, you know, like $60 or $40 or whatever. But it's because there is a deal. Now she's like, I have to do it. I must. But and it's really funny because the Kohl's Cash thing too is absolutely hysterical, because what they do is every time you go there and you spend a certain amount of money, they give you like, oh, here's $10 in Kohl's Cash. And basically it's like a drug dealer giving samples, in my opinion, because it's just like, okay, it's like saying you'll get a guaranteed discount of like $10 to $30 off your next purchase, but that's just going to make you come back and buy more. So I don't know, it's a whole, I just get worried about my mom sometimes spending all that money, but I can't complain though, because my mom is so self-sacrificing that it's just nice to see her buy herself like anything. Like I'm pretty sure the last time my mom like really genuinely like bought something for herself, it was a pregnancy test. So I'm happy for that. I'm glad she got some, you know, medical grade cushion shoes. That's good. But so, okay, changing topics entirely. So changing topics a little bit. I'm not a very patriotic person. I never have been, and I think it'd be really weird to be patriotic, especially right now. Like, that's just like putting a kick me sign on your back. Like a kick me sign or a swastika, you take your pick, like, I don't know. But even though I'm not patriotic, I just think it's funny how like the rest of the world makes fun of Americans for like being patriotic or like having American pride. Like, I'm not saying I'm like for it. I'm just saying I think it's funny how other people make fun of us like they're not also engaging in it. Because they're always like, you know, like, it's so weird, because, you know, they're always British. British people are some of the most annoying people on the planet, probably second only to Americans. And as someone who is British American, I felt like I have just hit the shittiest jackpot. But anyway,
I think British American is just being British.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so like people will ask, you know, like, why do you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? That's like a cult. Why do you have your flags everywhere? Why is it always red, white, and blue? Why America first? But the second Schitt's Creek wins every Emmy ever, all the Canadians are like, we fucking did it, Canada! they're like, that's our show, that's our country. When Dan Levy got up to accept one of the awards, he was like, I just want to thank our Canadian crew and our Canadian cast and our Canadian nepotism. It's like, I just hit by so much of Canada at once. I felt like I got hit in the face by a maple leaf. I mean, because that's the only national symbol of Canada, right? But yeah, Twitter just exploded with Canadian pride, and I was just so shocked. I was just like, wow, you guys are here. I didn't even realize.
Didn't even know you were Canadian.
Yeah, like, I feel like Canadians are so like apologetic and shameful most of the time that I forget that they're a country. Like, I forget that they're like their own sovereign nation and not just like a growth on Maine, you know? But I'm kidding, of course. One of my best friends is from Canada, and that sounds super convincing, doesn't it? I swear I have friends. They just live in Canada, guys. I promise you. But yeah, my friend is from Canada, and she might be in the audience right now. And she was my Canadian friend was really funny because she unfollowed everyone who talked shit about Schitt's Creek the night of the Emmys. I can't believe it. She did that. Like, could you imagine if I unfollowed everyone who talked shit about an American point of pride? I think I'd have 0 followers at this point. Anyway, so that's me. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a great night.
You know what? To that, I just have to say, not only was that great, you also reminded me that I have to refollow Leslie Jones.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'm still kind of mad at her, so I might wait another week.
She deserves that punishment. She deserves that unfollow.
Avery,
That's not acceptable. She was the side-eye, and I was like, no, it's not happening.
Avery, I was gonna say I watched one Star Wars movie and I liked The Force Awakens, and my mom took me to Kohl's and there was a Star Wars overshirt that was $40 and on sale for $30, and she said, "Oh, you finally like Star Wars and this is on sale. I'll get it for you. I have like $5 Kohl's cash." And I was like,
It's like
I
every
don't
time
need this.
I didn't even get into it, but my mom has this obsessive thing of just like, she's like, I have Kohl's cash that's about to expire. I have to go to Kohl's. Do you need anything? Like, it's just always.
Yeah, my mom does that too. She bought me a Mr. Rogers shirt that I asked for as a joke because it was at Kohl's, so it was on sale.
Everything's on sale at Kohl's. It always is.
It's
So-
funny that you did that set, like, right after I came home from work all day at an off-brand, like, off-price retailer. Except the difference is my store we don't offer any, like, sale incentive, and, like, whenever it shows you the original price of the item on the actual tag, it's in the really small print. So people aren't like, wow, I saved this much. They're just like, wow, this is cheap, whatever.
That's valid. I think
I
that's.
can say, people, like, unfurling their receipts like a medieval scroll happens in front of my very eyes every single day, and it's always people over 50.
Oh, my mom does that. My mom does that every time. She unfurls it in front of the cashier, then she rolls it back up, and then she unfurls it before she gets in the car to double check.
It's just like I don't have glasses, but it's just like okay, let me see.
Here.
I have to check.
I have my
You're
mom's
not
glasses
getting-
on. I can do it perfectly.
You're not getting ripped off at a Kohl's. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And if you are, they're telling you, you just don't care.
So now that we have done the stand-up, the standing up that we both did sitting down.
For all you know, I'm standing.
I know where your bed is. All right, so now we're gonna have Weekend Update done by Arielle. So I'll share my screen. We pre-record.
It's Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Welcome to Weekend Update. I'm almost Norm Macdonald. I'm still Canadian, but with a 100% less chance of being fired. Update was harder this week since I am a busy college student and also nowhere near being a comedian. But also, it's hard because who really wants to read the news right now? To quote the words of a wise philosopher, Chris Red, I would rather eat table salt. Starting off on a somber note, the world lost Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg last Friday, prompting most Americans to pause for a moment to mourn her and her incredible life, before beginning to panic because, God, we are so Ruth Bader Gins screwed. It's no surprise that Republicans immediately started jumping on the opportunity to fill her vacancy on the Supreme Court, which would put it into a 6-3 conservative majority. Senate Majority Leader and resident corpse, Mitch McConnell, released a statement shortly after the announcement, stating the Senate would vote for anyone Trump nominated as soon as possible, despite there being less than 2 months until the election. Great. So the future of women's rights in this country now rests on the dude who literally looks like the turtle from that viral video of a turtle humping a shoe. You know the one. Yeah, that guy Am I the only one who thinks that McConnell released that statement just a little too soon? Like he's had it ready in his drafts for years now, just waiting for the day until he could tweet it out? It's fucked up how Republicans have just been waiting for RBG to die, and when she does, they can't manage to say more than 3 sentences about her entire life and legacy before launching into their Disney villain monologue. They're like high schoolers who forgot to read the book for their book report, so they just looked up the spark notes of RBG's greatest hits and were like, well, I guess she gave rights to the people we're actively trying to oppress, so, good for her, I guess. The whole situation is just messed up. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only industries where your coworkers are actively waiting for you to die are politics and the people who put together those in memoriam montages at award shows. Now, speaking of people we're waiting for to die, Donald Trump is still in the running towards becoming America's next top dictator. The good news is we may not have to wait much longer, since an envelope addressed to him at the White House containing the deadly poison ricin was intercepted before reaching there this week. Damn it, so close. Stranger yet, the FBI and RCMP concluded that the envelope was sent from Quebec, in Canada. Yes, things with Trump have finally gotten so bad that even people from other countries are just saying, fine, I guess I'll just do it my damn self. A woman was later arrested at Peace Bridge in Buffalo in connection with the case after she was caught trying to enter the States. If you're trying to enter the States right now of all times, from Canada, lady must have really wanted to finish the job off. Now, I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, my bad. Between that and the Canadian sitcom Schitt's Creek completely cleaning up at the Emmys last Sunday, Trump is realizing far too late in the game that the real threat of people coming from a neighboring country to destroy America from within isn't Mexico. It's Canada. I would not want to be Mike Pompeo right now, having to explain to Trump that, no, logistically you can't build a border wall right down the middle of Niagara Falls. That'll just make it a fucked up dam. On Sunday, the president just tweeted "law and order" in all caps, and I just want to know what exactly the context was. None? Okay. Like, does he watch the show? Does he want us to watch it? Is he mad at it? Now, of course it's ridiculous, but on one hand it is relatable, because most of us are half expecting to wake up from this 4-year fever dream and just see a black screen that says, Executive Producer, Dick Wolf. On Monday, the Department of Justice designated Portland, Seattle, and New York anarchist jurisdictions based on the response to the recent Black Lives Matter protests. Now, I can't speak for Seattle or Portland, but I wasn't aware that New York wasn't already one of those. I'm pretty sure anyone who has been there is surprised to find out someone's been in charge of it at all. I hope come January, when Trump begrudgingly moves back to New York, he's forced to see tourists walking around in "I Heart Anarchist Jurisdiction" shirts. I think that would truly bring his presidency full circle. Speaking of anarchy, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has said that the state will form its own panel to vet federally authorized coronavirus vaccines, saying that, frankly, I'm not going to trust the federal government's opinion. The rest of the panel will reportedly be rounded out with the judges of RuPaul's Drag Race. Economists have begun to worry that the U.S. is repeating 2009's economic stimulus mistakes by dragging out the recovery process. It's okay though, because The Big Short 2, Electric Boogaloo, will be sure to sweep the 2025 Oscars. In tech news, Apple released their new software iOS 14 this week, introducing widgets to their devices. Better yet, their featured photo widget picks random photos from your camera roll to display on your home screen. So, to everyone with nudes on their phones, good luck with that. Well, the 72nd Emmy Awards were held virtually this past Sunday, but nonetheless managed to run their usual 7 hours. It had some historic moments, with Schitt's Creek winning 9 Emmys total, HBO's Succession taking home the coveted Best Drama Series award, and Zendaya becoming the youngest winner ever in her category. I think the most important moment definitely happened in the first half hour, as watching Jennifer Aniston have to put out a garbage can fire really just felt like the appropriate way to represent this year. Jimmy Kimmel was praised for how he handled hosting the Emmys this year, despite all the coronavirus restrictions. Telling jokes to a silent auditorium, no laughter. Yeah, so basically how his show normally goes. Rolling Stone magazine updated their top 200 albums of all time list for the first time since 2003, sparking controversy with some of their choices. So now white people have something other than politics to argue over on Twitter. Saturday Night Live showrunner Lorne Michaels said in a New York Times interview that he's not sure if the show is going to be able to pull it off this season due to coronavirus restrictions. Well, that's funny because I'm pretty sure no one's been sure that SNL could pull things off for the past, 6 years. Nah, but who are we to talk? I'm filming this the night before our show, and Avery's probably gonna edit it 3 hours beforehand. Pulling off comedy is pure fantasy at this point, like unicorns or experiencing genuine happiness. Too real? Archaeologists in Egypt have unearthed 27 sealed sarcophagi in a 2,500-year-old tomb because apparently they have the inability to read the room. You know, that ancient curse was released, saw the world burning and everyone with the plague and just went, yeah, I think I'm just gonna pass on this one. Conservationists found that 356 elephants in Botswana dropped dead back in June, but the cause seems to be in dispute, with Botswana officials blaming it on toxic bacteria, while experts suspect foul play. Now, this is the only time this sentence has ever been said by anyone ever, but with the world being as it is right now, I really wish I was an elephant who dropped dead in Botswana way back in June. Well, from all two of us here at Not Weekend Update, because I don't want NBC to sue us, have a good night. Or day. Or time in general. Have a good time. See ya. My cat meowed the entire time I filmed that update. Welcome to Weekend Update. The whole time. Of course, it's horrifying enough. Jimmy Kimmel was praised for how he handled introducing widgets to their devices. Better yet, their featured photo widgets. Yeah, at one point he did something which he's literally never done before, where he climbed in the little garbage can I have and he just sat in it, started going through my garbage while I was trying to film update. And I took it as a sign. I think he was trying to say that my jokes were trash. So, you know, I still don't have an audience, but I'm still getting heckled by my cat. So things are just fucking great.
And that was Weekend Update. So, that's our show. Thank you all for watching it. You guys are the OGs. We really love you. Thank you.
It's much appreciated.
So I'm just gonna end this. This is probably more for people who might watch it on YouTube later, but or any of you, if anyone wants to do open mic at any time, this is an open mic. This is anyone can come and do stand up if they want. If you got a sketch idea, you want to do that, cool. Come sign up. If you try to put this out, we'll try to put this out like a week and a half before the next show. Our next show will be in 2 weeks. So that I have to check dates on that, but I believe that is the 9th of October. So yeah, so if you ever want to do this in the future, go ahead. You could also do like a feature on Weekend Update. We're open to stuff. Anyway, you guys should do this. please clap. Anyway, so yeah.
Open mic. Will you laugh?
Will you laugh? Anyway, okay. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna end the recording now. Good night.